Our seats real quick. It's 3:30. Today is 3:30 p.m. April 2nd, 2018. I'd like to call the Caddo Parish Commission work session to order at this time. Mr. Clerk, if we can have roll call.
Yes, sir. Dominic.
Present.
Lyndon Johnson. Jackson. Lynn.
Here.
Present.
Bowman. Cawthorn. Gary
Present.
Watts. Middleton. Atkins. Chavez. Smith. Lewis Johnson. We have a quorum, sir.
Okay, just want to let everybody know real quick before we do anything, Dr. Wilson's not here. His brother-in-law passed away. I've asked Commissioner Bowman to say the prayer. I know he's going to say a special prayer for that. And Commissioner Lynn, if you'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
We all rise, please.
Everyone, please bow your heads. Oh, gracious Father, God of grace, God of mercy, God of favor, we just come thanking you, Lord, for this day, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for even forgiveness of sins, God. God, I ask you just continue to guide each and every one of us and everyone who's even present, Lord. Help us to be able to do the business in which you will have us to do, and help us to even think of new ways, Lord, that we can come together to be able to make whatever productive and progressive. Father God, please bless Dr. Wilson's family and his wife, Lord, and their family, God. Give them the peace that surpasses all understanding, because only you can do it, God. So just help them in this time of bereavement. Father God, I ask that you bless not only the people in the city of Parish, the state, United States, but God, bless our president and the administration, Lord. Bless our governor, the mayor, and everyone else. Bless our military as well, God. Help those who are protecting us protect their families. It's in these and other blessings we entrust in your Son, Jesus' name. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Everyone, please face our flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, I would like to thank everybody for being here today. We have our next item, agenda additions. I believe we have one. Is that correct, Mr. Hopkins?
Yes, sir. We do have one.
Commissioner Jackson, I believe you have an agenda addition. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to add this resolution. I'm not sure if it has a number yet, to authorize the parish administrator to negotiate with telecommunication companies to place small cell wireless devices on parish buildings and otherwise providing with respect thereto. If I can get a second.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Jackson and seconded by Commissioner Cawthorn to add and expand our agenda to include resolution number 2018.
25, sir.
Okay, 25. At this time, is there anybody who wishes to speak in favor of this resolution being added?
Yes, there too, Mr. Chairman.
Do what?
That's true.
How you doing?
Hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Robert Vinay. I'm the Regional Director for AT&T in North Louisiana, 3115 D Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. I just want to commend the Commission for taking this into consideration. This is a progressive piece of legislation that will position the parish for economic development, for smart cities, for the Internet of Things, connected devices. So what we're talking about is the deployment of 5G by way of small cell devices. So within the state of Louisiana, to date, we've had 6 ordinances adopted from different municipalities. Caddo Parish will be the first, or could potentially be the first, parish government to adopt a resolution like this, or ordinance. East Baton Rouge Parish Consolidated Government did pass an ordinance, but that's kind of a hybrid model, so this would be the first true parish level type of legislation in the state. So I'm here to answer any questions if there are any.
Can't have any questions at this time. This is just a little public comment
Okay.
for adding this, so I appreciate you coming here today. I think we have another person here that wishes to speak in favor of adding this to the agenda. Is that correct? If you can give us your name. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Demetrius Norman, serving as acting board chairman and president for Queensboro Progressive Citizens, our active neighborhood association. I'm in favor of adding it to the agenda. We have a desperate need for high-speed internet in our community. I'm actually a teleworker, so I actually remote into my particular job through the internet. So my actual livelihood is impacted at times when I have downtime or slow bandwidth. Also, the potential for job creation with our community. is pretty much based on that. Anybody I refer to work with my employer or a similar company, they're looking to do a remote worker situation. So we're talking about companies that we may not be able to get to relocate here to Shreveport. If it's a company in Austin or Dallas or California, they're willing to hire people remotely through the internet. I've been doing this about 4.5 years. So we're talking about jobs that don't currently exist in Shreveport or Caddo, that a lot of our citizens and residents are able to secure by simply expanding our capabilities in our neighborhood. So I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. All right. Okay, no one else in favor. Is anybody who wishes to speak against adding this and expanding the agenda? Declare this public hearing open, closed, I'm sorry. What we're doing is just adding it to the agenda. As each of you, the commissioners know, but this is to the public, it takes 100% of us to vote in favor of adding this to the agenda. It's not voting on it this time, it's just putting it on the agenda. We'll vote a little bit later on when we get into resolution. So if you wish to add this to the agenda, please vote yes. And that passes 12-0. That will be added on the agenda, and we will speak on that a little bit later on. Next, we're going to citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission must fill out a comment card and forward it to myself or the clerk of the commission. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. I currently have one comment card. If anybody else wishes to fill out a comment card, you can get them in the foyer and bring them to myself or to Ms. Nations, who's the young lady on my far left. My first person to give us a comment card is Zanita Phillips. Is Anita Phillips present? Hello, how you doing, Ms. Phillips? You can come on up. And I see that you're representing a Bait of Northwest Louisiana, and you're here to discuss a proclamation, so you have 3 minutes, okay?
Well, I've already got the proclamation from the mayor, but I was here because I wanted to make you guys aware of the problems that we're having with motorcyclists being run over by cars because they're distracted because of distracted driving. And I wanted to see if maybe I could get y'all to on your Amber Alert signs put up be aware of motorcycles or what have you. Just let people be aware that there's motorcycles on the road and watch for us.
Anything else?
No, sir, that's it.
Okay. We appreciate you being here today. I guess you might want to contact the administration tomorrow and talk to Mr. Lucky. He can give you his contact information. It's 226-6900, and I'll talk to him about this a little bit later. And I would just contact him tomorrow or later this week, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much. And our next item, Mr. Clerk.
We have no visitors, we have no old business, we move to new business. Authorized introduction of ordinance number 5765, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Reserve Trust Fund and the Riverboat Fund, providing an appropriation of $86,000 for United Way of Northwest Louisiana 211.
Move to advance.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Lyndon Johnson, and I'm not sure the second was by Commissioner Jackson to, okay, Commissioner Chavez, for the introduction of ordinance number 5765. Commissioner Johnson, you're the maker of the motion. You wish to speak, Ms. Faye?
Yes, basically this is for the United Way. They came and talked to us about a 211 program, and that's what this money is about. Basically taking the money from the emergency disaster fund that we set up years ago. There was some money left over from that, and had to move it out of that fund and over to Riverboat in order to appropriate it this way. That's what I was advised to do, the best way to do it. So that's why it's saying Reserve Trust Fund and Riverboat Fund.
But it's really already money that was already dedicated.
It was already
to
dedicated.
tornado victims, the one that
Emergency
we had,
disasters.
yeah, we've
Right.
done with Mr. Goodrich.
Yeah, I
So,
just wanted to clarify that a little bit, not just it's coming from
unused
the Reserve
funds,
Fund.
unused.
But it's already been appropriated for emergency disasters, and that's what we're trying to do, is just utilize it over for the 211 program.
Okay, Commissioner Chavez?
I just want to let everybody know that this was something that affects every district and across Caddo Parish. It's something that's definitely needed. I do like the fact that where we're taking the funds from is already appropriated for that, but this is only for this year. I don't want you guys to think that we're adding this and it's going forward. So it's just for this year. We'll have to look at it going forward. And for the admin side, I do want to ask that you guys get us a list of the entities that the 211 helps and sends citizens to, so we can look at those people that we're already helping fund to for next year when this comes across NGO's desk. That's all, Chair.
Mr. Wilson, did you get that request by Commissioner Chavez? I mean, Mr. Lucky, did you get that request by Commissioner Chavez?
I'm sorry, I didn't, Commissioner Chavez.
I'll repeat it. Mr. Lucky, on this 211,
Yes.
we're going to help these guys out this year, but I know next year they're going to come back again, and we're going to have to look at funding out of the NGOs. Some of the NGOs that we currently fund are citizens funneled to 211 and then funneled to those NGOs that we're helping out, so that we don't have to spend those NGO dollars twice. I'd like to see which NGOs that we're also helping that this 211 is flowing those citizens to. So if you can give me the list of entities that 211 funnels citizens to when they're finding them help, so that'll help us come June when it comes to NGOs for next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lucky. Thank you, Chair.
You got it? I'm assuming you do. Okay, Commissioner Lynn?
Commissioner Chavez covered it.
Sorry,
and
I'm right.
This is a reoccurring expense, drawing money from a account that just has some leftover money, that's all.
And thank you, Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Vice President Cawthorn.
Yeah, Commissioner Lynn and Commissioner Chavez addressed what I was going to say, but I also wanted to add in that I think this is something that we definitely need to do. Having met with United Way a couple of weeks ago, I think this is a very needed program. And once again, I want to applaud them for even taking on the initiative to do such and not knowing where the funding was going to come from, their budget. And so that is what you call good corporate citizenship and helping the needed issues as it relates to Caddo Parish. Thanks.
Okay, next, we need to vote. So if you can all vote at this time. And that passes 12-0. Mr. Clerk, next item.
Authorize resolution number 22 of 2018, urging and requesting the Louisiana Legislature to review Louisiana law regarding sexual conduct between law enforcement officers and detainees.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Is that correct? Okay. I see no one on the board.
I am.
Oh, excuse me, Commissioner Jackson.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to englobo and advance resolution number 22, resolution number 23, resolution number 24, and resolution number 25 to Thursday.
Okay.
Second.
Have a substitute motion by Commissioner Jackson to englobo and move to Thursday, resolution number 22, 23, 24,
And 25.
and
The
the
small
new
cell.
one, the 25, okay.
Where's 25?
Small cell right
25
here.
is this
Agenda addition.
agenda edition.
It's in front of
I
it.
got you.
Commissioner,
Second.
okay, that motion was made by Commissioner Jackson. It was originally seconded by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. Do we have anybody on the board? Commissioner Chavez?
Yes, Chair, I don't disagree with that in Globo. I just wanted some clarification on the number 22. Can you just kind of touch on what's going on with that?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
This is an issue that we are one of the 30 states in the United States that has no law on record in the books about sexual conduct with detainees. We currently have a law that protects them once they are incarcerated, but not as a detainee. So if one of us was picked up and we decided to have consensual sex, is no law against it. So it could work in both directions, which would save us from possible lawsuits or accusations or many other things that are out there. And this is just something that we need to have legislation take a look at and review it and hopefully update the laws.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Commissioner Atkins?
I'm also supportive of the Englobo, but I was hoping to perhaps get a little clarity on the telecom 25 being the non-techie guy here. Commissioner Jackson, maybe you can help me a little bit on that.
Oh, sure. It's actually just an opportunity, as I believe Mr. Benet said, to help us be a progressive parish. we're looking at, we've met with administration, we met in committee as well. I'm not sure if you're on that long-range planning committee, but this is basically we'll put those very small cell, we're not talking about the macro cells, but small cell towers on parish buildings. So like the courthouse, maybe the jail, maybe juvenile. And so I know the city was having some issues. They have like a 70-page document. I think it was reduced to a 40-page document. We want to make sure that we have a business-friendly atmosphere when telecommunication companies come in wanting to do business. Here on the front page of our national publication, it says FCC could ask Environmental and Historic Review to speed up 5G cell towers. And so this makes us very competitive and along with the lines of business friendly. So they'll negotiate with Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson will then bring it back to the parish commission and we'll authorize placing it on the building.
Thank
The
you,
lease-
okay. Thank you.
But if I'm correct, it's just for parish-owned buildings?
Correct, parish-owned
Okay.
buildings on. Mhm.
Okay, and one question I had to Commissioner Johnson on your amending bylaws, you're wanting to rechange the communicating committee reports to go back up to the point that it used to be?
Yes.
I guess everybody's okay with that? All right. Commissioner Jackson, are you?
Yeah, and I appreciate Commissioner Cawthorn for bringing it to my attention. It's not, AT&T is just here because we have a local rep that we can touch, but this is a benefit to AT&T, Verizon, Sprint,
Whoever.
any telecommunication company. I believe Verizon just announced today that they're looking to do innovation schools, and so what they'll be doing is they'll be deploying 5G. They're looking for middle schools that will be interested in doing sort of the whole 5G model. They'll equip those schools with all kind of technology, and so hopefully we can encourage the Caddo Parish School Board to get on with it, and it'll be they're going to invest $400 million throughout the country, and hopefully Caddo Parish can be selected as one of those areas.
Okay, just want to call this to vote again. Resolution number 22 regarding the sexual conduct with detainees. Resolution 23, to amend the bylaws to change the agenda. Resolution number 24 is the National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. And the new resolution that was added, number 25, regarding allowing Dr. Wilson to negotiate with telecommunications companies concerning property owned by the parish. Please vote to send this to Thursday.
Mr. President, just a point of information.
Sure.
The bylaws will sit over for 2 weeks. It will not be on Thursday's agenda.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
And it takes a majority, right? Super majority.
2/3 for bylaw change.
Are you okay with that? Okay, 12-0, that passes. And Mr. Hopkins, moving on our agenda.
Authorize appointment of 2018 Caddo Parish Poet Laureate.
I move to Thursday.
Have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Jackson, seconded by Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn to move item authorization appointment of the Caddo Parish Poet Laureate to Thursday. No discussion, please vote.
Commissioner Hackens' name should be on that, not mine.
Yeah, really.
He's consistent.
Okay, that passes 11-1. Okay, moving on to our next item.
Authorize appointment to Animal Services Board, Law Enforcement Representative.
So moved. Second.
I got a motion by Commissioner Middleton, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. I'd like to make a substitute motion to, if everybody's okay with a substitute motion, to include the appointment to Sewer District Number 2.
Second.
And also the resolution concerning North Caddo Magnet Lady Rebels who won another state championship to Thursday.
Second.
All right.
I have a substitute motion by the chair, seconded by Commissioner Jackson to include those final 3 appointments. No one's on the board. Please vote. And that passes 12-0. Moving on to our next item, Mr.
Next,
Clerk.
we move to the Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'd like to bring up Mr. Kelvin Samuel, our Interim Director of Caddo Parish Animal Services and Mosquito Control for an update. Brother Kelvin.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Dominique. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I just want to give you a quick little recap of the rabies clinic that was held on 10 March. So just kind of give you a little visual of how things took place. Technical difficulties.
Don't tell me John's gonna have to come out there and help you.
I think we should just dance.
John.
Atkins, yeah. I'm getting him back. I told him I was gonna get him back, so I'm getting him back at least.
But what I can do,
I'm a late adopter to all things.
And we have a 10-year-old in the audience.
Yeah, that's what we need.
All right, Mario, come on.
Right?
all right, I'll speak on it. So we had 375 shots, that we gave out to the citizens. The line was wrapped around all the way from 1500 Monte down to North Market. Okay, we're supposed to stop at 2 o'clock. The veterinarians didn't even get a chance to eat lunch. That's how busy it was.
Wow.
We did a little bit different with the logistics of things this year. Instead of having animals line up at the gate and, elderly citizens walking up and stuff like that, so everyone stayed inside their vehicle. They came in the east gate, came all the way around the shelter, which gave them a quick little visit, so they got a chance to see everything in the back of the shelter. My staff worked very hard. So the last actual citizen was at 3 o'clock, and we did 80 microchips. So the microchips are awesome because it actually gives us a chance to not even bring that animal into the shelter. So if we get a positive scan out in the field, we just return little Fluffy back to its proper owner. So it was a great, great success.
You said 80, not 8. I'm out of order.
Yeah, 80 microchips. That was excellent. We just had Best Friends give us a visit, so hopefully I'll get something back from those guys as well. We have kids at Caddo coming this weekend. We did it last year. It's where kids come in and they get to read the animals' books and stuff like that. Get a little education. Hopefully Pep will be there as well. She knows about it. We also have Real Estate to Rescue on April the 21st and the National Adopt a Shelter Pet. That's going to be on April the 28th. And once again, we couldn't have did it without the help of the staff. The staff did great, and thanks to Dr. Bishop and Dr. Sears, who worked tremendously from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. nonstop. So I was hoping I could show you a little quick footage of the cars lined up, but maybe we could check it out next time. And another thing I want to share with you, a quick little recap of the mosquito spraying. So we did a little bit of light spraying last week. I know you requested. We did the rural area last week, Mooringsport, Keithville, Vivian. This week we'll full up, and of course they can call to get any area that's going to be sprayed for that afternoon by dialing 318-212-1207, or they could actually call, the actual number, 318-226-6624
So what's the number? 212 what?
212-1207.
1207?
Yes, sir. That will actually give them all the areas that's going to be sprayed that afternoon. They can still go to Civic Plus on www.caddo.org to actually go in and put a request in as well.
Okay, so if they want to request, come to the area, what do they do?
Well, if they want to find out what areas that we're spraying, is that number I just gave you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. They'll call that number after 2 p.m. and
Okay.
it'll tell them wherever our trucks are going.
Okay.
So if they want to actually request a spray in their neighborhood or their street, they just dial the regular number, 318-226-6624.
6624. And
Yes,
then
sir.
Just someone to pick up the phone and then they can.
Yes, sir,
get
absolutely.
them
They
the
can put
list.
their request in, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, I brought this up, so I'm sure some of you guys have gotten some calls. I've been getting some calls about the mosquitoes, and why weren't we spraying? And Kelvin, I don't know if it was you or the head of the mosquito control basically said that had to do with some of the issues with the temperature, that we spray it in the evening times and the temperature was too cool. If they sprayed, it wasn't really going to do anything. So they've had to wait a little bit longer because of the temperature and the rains and things of that nature. But apparently now we're gearing up to do that. I guess we'll be going out pretty much every day at this point?
Yes, sir, every day.
7
Every
days a
day.
week or just 5?
Yes, 7 days a week. Yes, sir.
So y'all
And act-
started that up? at
Yes,
this
sir.
time?
Yes,
And-
sir.
And remember, we use not full-time employees, they're part-time, they're seasonal employees, I guess, to do this. Is that pretty much correct?
That's correct. We have 2 full-times, well, 3, adding Mr. Lloyd, and then we have some seasonal workers that comes back every year.
Well, I just wanted you to come up and give us an update, and I appreciate it. So.
Absolutely. They could also come out and get the mosquito BTI granules. What that is, you place that in standing water, like tree stumps, tires. They can actually come to the facility to get that.
And if y'all, sometimes if you're gonna have an event or something, y'all can make a call, or say, but I always get a baseball, or if y'all gonna have the park's gonna have an event, just let them know ahead of time, as soon as they can, that way they can get out there before the kids get out there and get in the spray.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And I also want to give thanks to our public information officer for following up on multiple PSAs, advertisements, multiple radio stations. So it was a great push for that microchip
Well, we
clinic
appreciate
and rabies clinic.
Appreciate the rabies.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple commissioners. Commissioner Middleton.
Thanks, sir. Good job there, Team Kelvin.
Yes, sir.
Now, on the scan things the ACOs have, do they do it 100% of the time in the field prior to coming to CPOS?
Yes, sir. They are actually doing it 100%. And also, I forgot to add, we're doing Bordetella in the back as well.
Right,
We're
say
so
it again,
100%. Yes, sir. They're scanning in the field 100%. 100% before it hits the truck.
And so are we getting any returns? like
Yes,
that?
sir. We had 7 last week.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Great.
How are we doing with Best Friends, Brent Tolliner?
They came out, what date was that? I get my dates all mixed up. They was here on the 12th and 13th. He actually sent one of his cohorts, Scott. So Scott and Michelle came out, Michelle Logan, and they did a great job. They actually gave a little brief to Commissioner Bowman and Dr. Wilson and Mr. Lucky. So they're going to give us some things to help us get that high release rate up a little bit. So another thing they gave us advice on was the 100% vaccinations. So what we were doing it anyways. We have our officers come in the back, and they stray animals, unless it's just a dog that's just too far gone and is suffering. We're giving Bordetella at the back, and we're also giving it with the veterinarians and the vet techs.
100% of the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how about the Pet Point software?
The Pet Point software, they came out in February, I think it was the 27th. Jesse Calkin and her team. So, of course, we didn't need to get Pet Point Enterprise. So we have the proper software that we need, which is Pet Point Professional. We just needed a little bit of training. So they trained our staff, and more training is coming forth. They're going to send a pamphlet out to us. But our system was backed up with old data. So we're going to clean that data out. Once that data is cleaned out, we can press forward 100%. It should be a push of the button to get any report that you request, which is the way that it should be working anyways.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, sir,
I've been
that's-
hearing this training for Pet Point for almost 2 years.
No,
so-
but we actually had technicians on the ground this time.
Okay.
That's the difference.
We're
So when I went,
progressing- Is the bottom line you're progressing all these points?
absolutely. So when you have technicians on the ground, it's totally different than asking the questions of my staff.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Commissioner Matthew Lynn.
Mr. Samuel, the granular agent that you add to standing water, are mammals able to drink that water, birds, mammals?
Yes, it's safe. I forgot to add that. It's actually pet safe, animal safe. And what this does, it's a microbial insecticide, which pretty much kills the larva for chikungunya, West Nile, Zika. So it's animal friendly.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
That's it.
Kim. Thank you
Okay.
for the updates. Do appreciate it.
All right.
We'll have one. Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, and I'm just anticipating it, and I don't know if I missed it, but the love bug, I know we've had a lot of rain this year. Are they coming back? And if they come back, will we have, I know we talked about having the.
Stormy's wanting them to come.
Yeah, I know, last year that was a big issue.
Oh.
Yeah, and we couldn't really get the
Oh,
proper,
wash. Okay,
the
I
proper
get it.
parts per million for it last year. Also, I want to throw out there too, same thing applies for the honeybees again. If there's honeybee owners or, people that raise honeybees for honey and stuff like that, you need to let us know that. You actually have to literally put the truck up against the hive for it to actually kill the bees, but we still need to be notified.
Right.
So the love bugs, we have nothing for them right now,
okay.
but we'll keep looking.
That happens when love is in the air.
Hey.
Okay.
You said that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say thank you for everything. It's been, at least from what I can tell, it seems like it's quiet over there, and so keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. We try to jump on everything quick.
Appreciate it.
So if someone
Quick as
has
possible.
the beehives or whatever, they need to let y'all know so that y'all don't spray too close to them.
Absolutely. But we did a little research.
Yeah,
You
y'all
literally have to back the truck up against the hive, but still we don't want to take any chances on that.
And Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts?
Thank you, Commissioner President. First of all, Interim Director Samuel, I just want to tell you that I really think that you're doing an amazing job as the
Thank you.
director of the facilities. And I agree with Commissioner Jackson and the other commissioners who had said that it seems like that things are turning in the right direction finally.
Yes, ma'am.
With the improvements that you're doing, some of the things that we already had in place, and just changing the entire trajectory of how the public looks at the facility. And I really appreciate that. Every time that I call and ask for anything, you are on it 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just wanted to publicly acknowledge you for your hard work and the efforts that you are making to make sure that we are getting out the right message to the citizens of Caddo Parish. And I also wanted to ask you to give us, as commissioners, if you would send to everyone the events that you just announced to us.
I sure will.
If you would send them to our clerk, and he would send them to all of the commissioners, so that we could pass this information on inside of our districts as well, to let them know that we are having a National Pet, Adopt a Day. And also, I think you said something about Kids at Caddo.
Yes, that's going to be this weekend.
Where they could read to
Yes.
the animals as well.
Absolutely.
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Hopkins, we'll move on to our next item.
Were there any other reports? I guess we're on
Randy, you
reports.
have anything else?
That concludes our admin report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lucky.
Next, we move to communications and committee reports. I have one notice of intent. Notice hereby given, Caddo Parish Commission of Caddo Parish, Louisiana, plans to consider ordinances to adopt the parish's ad valorem tax millages for properties within the parish of Caddo at the meeting on Thursday, May 17th, 2017 at 3:30 p.m. Government Plaza, 505 Travis Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. At this meeting, the parish will consider adoption of its general purpose millages, special purpose millages, and debt service millage. The parish will also consider adoption of the values fixed or to be fixed by the Louisiana Tax Commission on all assessments for railways and other public service corporations, and to consider setting the assessment of property classified as timberlands. Also, a proper standards hearing will immediately follow the work session.
Just for y'all's information, the little notice that Mr. Hopkins read, that's something that we have to do each and every year, especially just to adopt our millage rates. We have to do that so we can send it to Mr. Hennington to get it to him in time so he can make sure that the property taxes that have been voted and approved on by the residents are actually collected, if I'm correct. So we're on communication committee reports. Commissioner Matthew Land, you're on board?
Yes, there is a natural resources meeting immediately after the property standards meeting, which is immediately after this meeting. And so it'll be just stay here, or we're going to actually be meeting in the back room if y'all can make it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Atkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. Many of you all will see a document in front of you with a yellow highlight across it. This is reflective of the Economic Development Committee that we just had prior to our commission meeting today, and I wanted to make sure you all knew of a modification of this document, as it will be on our agenda later. The second item on the list in the upper left-hand corner, the $25 million investment has been at least temporarily pulled by Calumet. It's no longer under consideration. Well, it's no longer in this list of projects that's been submitted. So that that reduces the total capital investment from the 48.5 million listed to a number of 23.8 million. And it reduces the FTEs, the number of new jobs, from 89 that's listed to 83. And the associated, it reduces the total annual tax abatement from 186,000 to roughly 90,000. So I just wanted you all to correct this document to reflect those changes that came out of the Economic Development Committee meeting. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Atkins, and Commissioner Stormy Gators Watts.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met, Juvenile Justice Committee team met today to make sure that we are acknowledging that there is an issue that we are facing and that we have been for quite some time. We discussed alternatives to incarceration and the diversion plans that we already actively have in place, discussed the savings of over $800,000 per year with these very successful programs. We also will be introducing an ordinance at our next meeting about continuing to do things to work with the judges and the administration there at Juvenile Detention Center.
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life program.
Thank you, Commissioner Stormy Gators Watts. And Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, just wanted to say happy or late Easter to everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, however you celebrate Easter. Hope you enjoyed it. Want to, Commissioner Matthew Lynn and I, thanks to the President, we serve on the Master Plan Subcommittee. We will be trying to get together and pull together a meeting to discuss issues, or not necessarily, I don't want to say issues, but just some thoughts about the MPC and funding. And there's this idea floated out again of what should be the parish's fair share of the funding pie and things like that. And just to also have sort of a listening session about some issues with regard to the MPC. So, Mark, I don't know, were y'all to take was staff to take the lead on notifying us, or how will we be notified of that meeting? And I'm not sure if we're going to, or will we be discussing it at the intergovernmental meeting? Okay, so we'll discuss it at the intergovernmental meeting, but I just wanted to put it on everybody's radar that that conversation is coming back around with regard to the MPC. Also wanted to make mention of this weekend, and I'll make mention of it on Thursday, Big Scene with Shrek. If you can, get out and enjoy. A couple weeks ago, I think I found myself at about 10 events around town. There are folks who are always saying there's not enough to do here, but if you have an interest in something, I'm almost sure you can probably find something to do. And so Big Scene is one of those issues that will be coming up this weekend. Just wanted to put that out there. I believe Christmas in the Sky announcement party as well. I don't know. And I don't know if y'all get all those things because I'm on the Shreveport Comment Board. I try not to hoard the information from anybody, but try to keep everybody in the loop. So Christmas in the Sky announcement party is Thursday at 6 o'clock, Central Light Station. That's it for me.
Okay. Anything else? Next item?
Next, we move to President's Report.
Yeah, the only thing I'd have to say, I appreciate all the hard work on the committees everybody's doing, and I do need to, Commissioner Chavez had mentioned about a month ago, and I just let it slip, but he and I would like to meet with you, Commissioner Jackson, and our IT person, and Todd, concerning some possible updates on our laptops. And I'll talk to you after the meeting about it, okay?
Laptop?
iPads.
Go ahead, touch on it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mario, go ahead. You know more about it.
Well, one of the things is it brought this to my attention is I got with Todd on it. We all have iPads. I think it'd be more effective, me personally, if I had a laptop, and in the budget, a laptop you can get from Best Buy for $200, whereas a brand new iPad that's up to date is almost $1,000. I think if we're going to be fiscally responsible with the taxpayers' money, and these are what we're using to help us do our job, maybe it would be more beneficial if we looked at doing some cost-saving measures on the equipment that we're using, and what would be more effective both for the wireless service and the actual hardware itself. So Doug Dominic thought we'd put together a technology committee to see what would be the best plan of action for implementing new technology for the commissioners.
And we wanted to put you on there. We thought you.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm trying to figure out how I get on there. Okay.
Well, we were looking
I
at
don't
some
even-
young-minded
I don't
person.
think I
You
even know
figured-
where my iPad is.
Don't you be saying that. You're not supposed to say that.
I think it may be in my boxes.
There you go.
But sure, appreciate it.
All right, Commissioner Lyndon Johnson.
Yes, I guess give a little history on that. I know at one time, right before I was appointed to the commission, there was a plan to get laptops for all the commissioners, but it got voted down. And then I came with the idea of the iPad because the iPad is a little bit more mobile. You can go a lot of places with it. You know, some commissioners have them sitting up here now that you can just utilize them a little bit better. One we have now is actually outdated because you cannot update it.
That's
to the
why.
current,
That's what this is all about.
iOS.
Well, I don't use
So
mine.
I would, you know, prefer to get another iPad. I know you say it costs a lot more, but when you
I think we're
travel-
going to look at the options whether, you know, if Commissioner Mario wanted a laptop, he gets a laptop. You want an iPad, you get an iPad. That's kind of what we're trying to look at the options on that.
Okay, that's fine, because, you know, when you're traveling, it's a lot easier to travel with the
Just let me know.
iPad and keep up with the constituents that you need to talk to. But that was it. Oh, also, Commissioner Dominic, can you give me a list of all the committees and who's on them? Because I hadn't.
Todd can give them to you. Todd, can you get that to him?
Committees?
Yes.
Committees. We initially sent it out, but she can.
I must missed it or something.
That's been way back in January.
I didn't take you off anything. Don't worry.
I know, I'm just trying to see what I'm all on. I keep seeing these different ones and I'm on them, so I just want to make sure what I'm on.
You're doing such a good job.
I appreciate it.
Okay, that's all I have at this point. Mr. Hopkins,
Next, we have citizen comments, late arrivals. I have no cards, sir.
any citizens who wish to make any comments?
Oh,
Going, gone. Moving on to our next
Let's
item.
move to consent agenda.
so move to adjourn. Are we motion to?
We are adjourned,
Okay.
and if there's no objection, and now we're going to immediately go into the property standards meeting at this time. Everybody here. We'll take do we need to take a 5-minute break? Or?
Take a break?
We need a break.
We need, you want one or you ready?
Baby, let's roll.
Keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tim.
Roll.
I'm here.
I just shared the meeting while we was adjourning.
It's not my nails because I'm using my fingertips.
Yeah, we normally get
You ready?
Hey, look, I'm good about the rest of the main You have another one after this? You got to sit through the whole thing.
What's that?
Moving the comments back up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just think, it's 12.
It's another natural resources meeting after
So it's 11 people. You got one thing to say, 7 minutes, 6 minutes. Wow.
I like it.
Y'all finished way too early.
I like it the way, I like it at the end, like, so I was like, are you for that? I'm like,